In love, you don't betray. It was a love affair with Bhagwaan. And controversy of my life makes it interesting. I have lived the life they talk about. So mine is more original. No, you cannot put me in any box. I don't belong to any box. My future will have roots of past and present.
Wild Wild Country became a big hit, bringing you and your life into the spotlight. Did you anticipate the kind of response it got, considering that it could have gone in any direction?
No. I had no idea about it. I have not seen the film either. And I have lived the life they talk about. So mine is more original.
Monica, did you expect the kind of reaction Wild Wild Country got?
It was a fabulous documentary series, and there was no reason why it wouldn't have such a reaction.
So you saw it coming?
I wasn't around to see it coming. I was watching as audience outside, and the minute I saw it, one knew that it was a fabulous piece and it would do well.
So you are known as one of the most controversial women in contemporary popular culture. With this documentary, what aspects of your life will we get to see?
I don't know because I have not seen the film. I know what I have said. And I have said the same thing I am saying whole day today. And all 30 years passed, which is, it was a love affair with Bhagwaan. And controversy of my life makes it interesting.
Some people understand what you did and why you did it, and some people call you out, some people call you a feminist. How would you define yourself? Do you think it's easy to put yourself in one box?
No, you cannot put me in any box. I don't belong to any box. I live my life as I feel a free woman.
Okay, this one is for Shapun and Monica. So this is a documentary and a lot of films are being made on Sheila's life. I mean, there is talk of a lot of films being made on Sheila's life. How is it going to stand out differently, or what is the different aspect that is going to be told through this documentary?
First of all, I hope there are not too many films being made on her life, because that's one of the things that I've been working on for many years now. In fact, pre-Wild Wild is since when I've been trying to create a story that would do justice to all that happened. And I think Wild Wild Country was a phenomenal documentary. You know, part of me felt bummed because all the research I had done over multiple years felt like, oh yeah, this is what happened. Now everyone talks about it, you know, like as if it's pop culture information. But I think that's what the documentary does. It leaves you with a lot of mystery about these two characters, about Osho, about Sheela, and although Osho's at the center of it, you know, we never really get a sense of who these people really were. We get a sense of the event, of the scandal, of the culture clash, but we never really feel an up and close understanding of who these people are. And I think part of the reason that this documentary was important is to kind of explore these characters beyond the scandal, is to try and understand these people in a little more broader way. And I think that's where this documentary comes in. So it's not an investigative piece of journalism. It doesn't try to dissect the scandal, but it tries to understand Sheela, who's had an extraordinary life. So many people are fascinated by her, want to understand her more, want to understand the enigma behind a character like her. And I think this documentary is hopefully trying to get you one step closer to that.
Monica?
Yeah, there was a lot of intrigue, enigma, power play, and scandal around what was, the life in Rajneeshpuram and Wild Wild Country. And Sheela was at the heart of it. And it was really exciting for us that Sheela was coming to India after 3.5 decades, and literally to visit a lot of cities, to meet some people that she wanted to meet. And that was, I felt, a very, very unique time post Wild Wild Country, when people have seen her a certain way. So we wanted through this documentary to see who's the person behind the persona. Are they the same people? And who is this unique figure? What goes on within her? How does she react to the world outside now? Is she that person or a different person? And those are all very exciting things that I think I was thinking of as an audience of Wild Wild Country. And this is a different piece from that series, but it is the person that we are looking at. And like Shakun rightly said, it's an interior journey, and we are very excited to, film that and to know what it is.
Sheila, the next couple of questions are for you. How do you think all your experiences have shaped your personality and your beliefs?
How
have the experiences that you've been through shaped your personality and your beliefs?
I think one has to look at it from the other side. That is, how I have dealt with different experiences of life. That's what tells individual more about their journey. And my journey has been an absolute adventure, and this adventure also teaches me more to add to my personality.
Shagun, if we were to take off on that particular answer, what kind of adventures can we expect in this documentary? What reflection of those adventures can we expect in this documentary?
Well, adventure is probably not the right word, but something that I've always felt with Sheila, and I've said it before, is that because of someone like her who's lived such an extraordinary life, most of us would never live 1/10 of the life that she has lived, what she's achieved, what her ambition was. So to get a taste of that, and because she's lived the life she has, every now and then, what I call wisdom bombs, she'll say something which will really, shake you, and you'll understand that only somebody who's lived such an extraordinary life can say something like this. So I'm thinking you will, apart from what we've seen in Wild Wild Country, all the stuff that has happened, you really see a person's life, a person who's had that kind of what she says. She's dared to do things others haven't. She's had the ambition and the courage and the balls to do things others haven't. And I think to get closer to that, and every now and then when you get insight into a person's mind who's done that, I think that in itself is the closest thing to adventure you'll feel.
So, is it possible to put the personality of Sheila into one box?
Whose personality can you really put into one box? Can you put yourself into one box? You can't. I mean, that's the whole idea. It's like, for our own convenience, we want these cookie cutter characters, and we want to either paste them as good, bad, saint, villain boxes. And I think today's audience, especially today's audiences, evolve enough to actually want more layers. They want to understand things beyond just good and bad. And I think that's exactly what this documentary is trying to do. It's not trying to label or give a shade to a story or to a character. It's actually trying to explore a character beyond good, bad, saint, evil, beyond that. And I think that's why people will watch this documentary, not because it's an exploration of this kind of a person. Yeah, I don't think anybody can be boxed. Simplest of people, I don't think, can be boxed. Maybe not even Gandhi cannot be boxed. So, I mean, people with the nicest of intentions or the worst of intentions can't be boxed. And they have to be understood in a broader way, in a deeper way. And I think that's what especially a documentary tries to do.
Sheila, do you think your personality can be boxed in your own words?
Never. That would be killing me.
I think I heard this, who said this? The only time you want to be in a box is when you die. Before that, you should just live, regardless of all the ideas and things that people say or would like to, put you in, I think. Yeah.
And also I think that human beings are driven by curiosity, and that's what is the driving force for this documentary also. It is completely driven by the curiosity to know an individual's journey, an individual who's being celebrated one moment, who's being vilified another moment, and also how all of us are reflected in that individual as a society, because we are the ones who do that. So what is really the truth? Where do you draw the lines? So it is all an exploration through an individual who's had a very, very fascinating and extraordinary journey. I mean, that is one thing which nobody can deny, that Sheila's had a very extraordinary journey. And it's the curiosity around that that drives this documentary.
Sheila, your life has been about love. Has it also been about betrayal?
Never.
Succinct.
In love, you don't betray.
And if you are to think about any disappointments in your life, would there be a biggest disappointment that you can think of?
Today, I can say, up till today, I didn't have much disappointment. Today, I feel journalists are biggest disappointment for mankind.
There you have your answer.
You're considered the queen of comebacks. Is there one comeback that stands out for you?
I'm sitting in front of you and so many cameras around.
Shakun, Monica, is that what really makes Sheila a very compelling subject to be speaking of?
No, I think what really makes her a compelling subject is she's lived a life
Yeah.
that
On her own
most of
terms.
us will never live. I think we can all decide to say one thing or the other, and it's everyone's right to kind of have opinion and make such certain kind of judgments based on facts. But I think one thing you can't take away from her or anybody who's truly gone out there and lived the life they wanted is, can you take that away? She's gone, lived on her own terms, done things exactly how she would have wished to have done. Yes, everyone's life has certain weight that comes with the choices you make. But if you are willing to fight that, and if you are willing to still live the way you want to live, then that's the true courage it really takes to live a fulfilling life. And for me, that is what is so extraordinary about a person. I think in today's life, we go to offices, we do our work, we come back, that's it. We are just living within that little idea of life. And now with Instagram, there's a certain idea of even a holiday, or how do you spend at home, what kind of meal you eat. But beyond that, once you break down all the walls, and can you go live beyond that? And I think she's one of the few people who have done that. And for me, that's what excites me, is looking at her life is she's lived beyond the walls that we've created, what we define as an interesting, good life. She's gone beyond it and lived a life that I think is extremely fascinating. And I actually only hope that I have the balls to hopefully really live for what that word truly means.
And also I think that, the times that we live in, the documentary is actually going to look at a person, an extraordinary person, where you step back and you say for a moment that should you admire the spirit or should you judge the actions? Maybe there are answers in the documentary for it, and maybe there are none. There are more questions. That's the journey that we are looking at for every individual out there. Because for every person who does outrageous things or gets called a hero or a villain, there is a combination of spirit and action. So what counts more? Different people have different things to say, and that is the journey that we are on with this documentary.
Right, and Sheila, we'll leave the final word to you. If you were to think about the future, how would you define it, and how would you like to be remembered?
Famous last
If you were to
words.
think about the future,
You want to define
how
the
would you
future.
like to define it, and how would you like to be remembered?
My future will be combined with my experience of past and present. My future will have roots of past and present.